Hey there, and welcome back to Eastern Era. In the first episode we followed the in-game tutorial, so we put down some basic structures. We have some shelters where we can sleep, and some storage right here. We started also a farming expedition, growing some pumpkins, some hay, some wheat, and some cotton. We planted some trees, but that is really not essential because you have plenty of trees around us here. We also started working on our first room. The plan is to actually make this a sleeping room, because they want to be sleeping in a nice room and preferably inside in a warm area, especially with the cold seasons coming on. And one of the things I forgot in the first episode is when we go to crafting, you can craft at this point wooden tools, and later you can upgrade that to iron, silver and gold. And the great thing is that when you carry this around, it's kind of like a trinket that you carry around in your inventory. Then it will improve some of your activities like crafting and I believe planting and farming. But it's really handy to have. It makes a big difference. So I'll craft that 6 times. Let's see, we have a normal room. Now the great thing is that you can make this a dedicated bedroom. In order to do that, we need to have at least 1 bed in there. We have the lighting section completed. Unfortunately, I cannot scroll further down, but the third item that you need in here is some kind of decoration. It's not too easy to do, but right now I do need to unlock, let's see if I can get there, the bed. Let's see, this is the wooden bed. Need 6, we have that. And it also comes with a decorative item, the easel. So that would fulfill both those things. So let's put some beds down. I don't think I can squeeze 5 in here, but... looks like this might work. No, it doesn't let me put it here. Unfortunately. Whoa, hope it doesn't make you dizzy. I'll just do 4. Maybe some extra light. We have one of these lanterns now. Let's put that here in the middle. And then we can put the easel in the back here. Let me zoom in, I want to make sure it's at the right direction there. Perfect. Now for the easel we need kudzu vine, and I'm not growing that. But I believe there's some kudzu vine to the south here. Somewhere. At least I hope there is. Here. Kudzu bush. So I can select them all and cut. That should give us enough kudzu for that decorative item. And when you make it a dedicated room, in this case a bedroom, it will actually lead, let me double speed this. It will give you some bonus and some benefits. They will get better rest and things like that. Oh, now we can... kind of strange. Maybe because we cut it and we are harvesting it, that I can now grow it. See that coming? Yeah, I think it needs a 2x2 grid, so we'll just do 12x2. Let's double check on that. 2x2 grid. Perfect. So this will be 6 plants here. The other tech that we need is table, and some seats would be nice. Let's get that going. And we can start working on another building, and probably we'll make this as some sort of dining room kitchen. So I'll put that in here. Let's make it a little bit bigger. I can always separate this into 2 separate rooms here. This 14x8. It's a lot of wood. The dining hall needs to be at least 25 squares, and the kitchen 36. So let's have a look here. So 6, this would be more than enough. Let's do it this way, and a simple wooden door here somewhere, like kind of in the middle. This will be the kitchen, this will be the dining room. It takes us quite a while before we can actually have those dedicated rooms, because they require some items that we haven't unlocked yet. And we have a random event. Somebody is offering to join us. It's a hunter. Well, the more the merrier, so let's get that going. I was about to throw down the arena. And this is an important structure, because it's our first structure that helps with cultivation. And for the people that missed the first episode, cultivation basically means that a person, in this case one of the disciples or all the disciples, are not only studying martial arts, but also engage in meditation and the study of mystical arts, things like that, in an effort to absorb energy known as qi. And as this energy builds up in the body, they will at some point have a breakthrough that will progress them to another stage, and this comes with a lot of benefits. It's kind of like leveling up your character, but then in stages, and this has more effect than just one stat that is going to be improved. It's going to be a whole bunch. It's really very, very powerful. With the arena, they can practice the cultivation and start that journey. Bottom floor is almost done, so I can now put the roof on there. Always time to zoom in, just to be on the safe side here. Perfect. And they're working on this. They have almost all the materials, and then we can start our construction. And by the way, this room is now a dedicated bedroom, and it comes with benefits, as I said. We actually reached tier 3, because you have several tiers here, and all they come with more and more increasing benefits on it. I've never had that, but we have a cozy one. So you can see kind of where the opportunities lay. We could have a bigger bedroom, that might probably help. But either way, in the room itself, we have Sleep Well level 2. That is an increased recovery rate, so they sleep better and they restore more energy, I think. And also here is that inside the room, everybody is happy +3. And for whatever reason, you have +5 in the room. You will get the millstone that will allow you to make flour. And this is a decorative item, a haystack. And the flour then can be used to, for example, make flatbread or porridge. So that is really nice. So we put, I put normally 2 millstones down. I'll put them kind of here-ish, I guess. A little bit of space in between. That means that the tree will be taken away. Okay, so this is now done. Double roof looks really nice, doesn't it? Maybe I should put some windows in there. It's kind of really dark there. Let's do some large windows. So now we start with training. Let me slow it down a little bit so I can explain this better. So everybody's now training, all 5. One person is sleeping. I think this only gives room to 5 people. One person cannot join. There's no room for that person, so that's why that person went to bed instead, I think. But now that they're training, this section here is going to start really playing a crucial part. So we're building up energy. Let's call it Naigong. And as we progress along this bar, at some point we can then activate our Dantian. And the Dantian is like a central point in your body that manages and pumps around your qi. Similar to a heart pumping around blood, the Dantian pumps around your qi. And that's basically what you want to grow and foster. And then you can progress accordingly and unleash quite some power. So right now we're working on that. So we haven't unlocked the Dantian yet. But that's going to be important, because the moment we can unlock the Dantian, we can then also start reading books that is going to help us with fighting and with skill sets. So what I've done is I've built a drying rack here. I unlocked that research just now. So we can then dry meat, turns into jerky, and dried fruit. I didn't know that was an option, by the way. But we'll build it here. This is going to be our kitchen. So I actually installed another door here. I told them to make another door so the cook can then come out here in case we need it. Might also be a shortcut to the warehouse I'm going to build here. And I'll probably put the stove somewhere here. Get that nicely organized. I did notice something in the background, by the way. And it's called a gear dragon. Let's hover over there. So I don't think this is made from flesh and blood. It kind of is made from cogwheels and metal, I think. And I'm not sure if I can highlight this. It has 10,000 health points. We would very likely still beat it because it's a demo. I don't think in a real game we're going to have a chance in hell against this thing. But because it's a demo, I think we can tackle it. But yeah, that is hostile, so that wanders around the map. And there is a chance that we might actually aggro that in case one of my guys is going to end up here on the top, for example. And while we're at it, we also have a xianxia. The hopping is actually intended. Apparently this is something like a vampire, like an undead in Chinese lore. I believe actually they sometimes hop or something. I don't know all the details, but from what I've been reading, it's not uncommon for them to hop. Maybe somebody can leave me a comment and correct me on that, but it's funny, but again, it's not something that you want to deal with early on in the game. So as you build more and more of these rooms, dedicated rooms, they all come with their benefits. And for example, the kitchen cooks. If you have an unofficial kitchen, then it will cook the food faster, so that's one of the benefits. People are happier there. things like that. The dining hall, I think, actually gives some global buffs, including resistances, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember that correctly. We also discover a mushroom, and I'm pretty sure that's a 1x1. It looks like we are going to have an attack in 110 seconds. This is just a random event. There's a camp to the north here. Let me show you that, actually. Right here. And then once in a while they send some bandits out to attack us. It's not really a threat. Not much of a threat, to be honest. So they're on the way. They're almost here. So we can kind of see that fighting style here. It's kind of like martial arts. It's really cool. And especially when you do more cultivation, then they get all these abilities and all these fancy attacks. So let's get going. So some have a bow, so they kind of shoot arrows, and kind of boring, right? Ooh, double speed. So these attacks, especially in the beginning, they are not really a threat. Okay, undraft everybody, back to work. Great thing is they drop loot. Usually it's food and maybe one book or something like that. Somebody is injured there. We have 2 healers, I think. Zhu and Shu. I have to make sure that I also set up self-heal. So he's already treating her. Perfect. That was it. That was it. She's completely healed, it looks like. I'm actually going to put an exotic rock here so they can look at that after they eat their meal, maybe, to relax a little bit. Well, they're training again. Look at them go. See, there's only room for 5. I should probably build another one of these then. But further on, you can get some other items that have to do with cultivation as well. So this person is eating, so he's now has a spot available. Perfect. Alright, time to unlock the stove if I have enough papers. I have 10. Perfect. So that unlocks the stove, a water tank that improves the cooking efficiency of nearby disciples, and fruit soup. I didn't know it was a thing, but apparently there's such a thing as fruit soup. Let's see. Stove. We'll just put it here. Now I'm going to put it this way. There we go. And then I can build a water tank. Now the thing is, if I build 2, and I will show you that in a moment, because we need 2 of these items to qualify for an official kitchen designation. So, kitchen. What is that there? You need 1 stove and 2 ornaments, and apparently that water barrel counts as an ornament. So as soon as these 3 items have been built, we have officially a kitchen, and we can go over the benefits and the bonuses that we get from that. What I will put down here, by the way, is a shelf. Where do I want to put this? Let's see, there's the door. I'll put it here. And then I can make sure that the shelf will only carry, for example, cooked meals. So it's easy for them to actually pick up a meal and sit down right away. So they don't have to run around all the way to the storage facility. This is a nice moment because while they're building all this stuff, it gives me a chance to actually talk about the Dantian. Apparently, Zhu Tifeng has generated enough chi, enough energy, and he can activate his first level. I don't think it changes anything about this just yet, but it shows Dantian inactive. See, nothing changes. And now while this is active, he's going to build up several levels of chi forge. I'm not sure if that's forge, I think it's force. He's right now level 1, we're a novice. So the next level will be reached via 600 chi. And he can now also learn certain abilities and have certain passives. I have not seen passives in the game yet. Maybe they are there, I don't know. But in order to, for example, learn a technique, he can read a book. Now this is all dependent on what weapon he uses. So he's kind of like, I think is unarmed in the game. So we can tell him to read a book. Now we have several books for weapons, none unarmed. So let's start with Stone Smash Palm. So I told him to read the book. He's going to read the book, and after he's done, it allows me to assign that ability to one of these 3 slots. Now as he levels his Shi, then more and more slots will become available. And also these abilities can level up. Now in the top of this level screen here, I'm not sure if it's showing yet. That doesn't show just yet, hold on. Let's see if this... yeah, here it is. You can see that you can select what the cultivation should be aimed at. Whether it's just general Naigong, the Shi, or if you should focus on the passives or on the techniques. I've not noticed any difference, because when I select this, I didn't see any difference. I think in the demo this is all similar and the same, but in the game itself, very likely then you will focus more on training your techniques than generating actual Shi. But yeah, I don't notice any difference. Okay, so those items are done in our kitchen, so it automatically changes it, or designates it as kitchen. And we have, we don't have enough light. So right now we're only in tier 2, which means that we have cooking speed plus 15, and it gives happiness plus 3 while we're in the room. But we do have to get some more light here going, of course. Now that this shelf is done, we want to make sure that we set it up properly. I only will set it up for cooked dishes. The rest is not welcome here. So cuisine, dish. Should be fine. Priorities, I'm not sure if that works in the game. I've tried this as well. I don't see any difference. It looks like it's actually, they're putting on something else here. I'm going to empty this out, forcing them to pick it up, and then we'll get it properly organized there. Now, let's see if Tifang, he has read the book. So we can now assign that technique to him. And it's Stone Smash Palm. And you can see it deals 100% sheet damage to enemies in a large area ahead. And then you can also see that it levels up at level 2, 4, and 6. So let's assign that to him. And we can tell him to read another book. The green book. I'm not sure what this does. Savage Force. So let's read that. I believe you can read every book 3 times before it's, well, worn out. So you can't use it anymore. You have to find another book. This doesn't look proper. Let's make it nice. That's better. Okay. So my character also is able to activate the Dantian. Difference is we are using a sword, so I'm not going to read the books that are for unarmed. I hopefully have a sword. Oh, this is actually a fist weapon. Look, I wasn't aware of that. I thought unarmed was automatically for those. Oh, so if you have a fist weapon, that is not considered unarmed. That's a difference. Okay. Alright, so we don't have any books for sword training, but there is a certain spot on this map. It's called an abode. And it's rumored that a senior who lives in seclusion here is proficient in swordsmanship and once defeated hundreds of mountain bandits, blah blah blah. So we can explore this 8 times, and every time you explore this you get a reward. At some point, I believe after 3 or 4 times, you will start getting sword training books, which is of course brilliant. So I will set it up in a moment to actually get some books there. But this is really good to know, because I wasn't aware that... Because, yeah, he already read this one, now we have to give him this one. But I'm not sure if that second book did anything. See, there's no... Is that maybe a passive? See, I don't see that come back anywhere. That book. The green book. Because he has read the green book. Oh. No. I can't click it anymore because he's already assigned another mission. Alright, so the extra light in the windows did up this room 1 tier level. So now we have Good Chef 3, cooking speed plus 25%. Everybody's happy in here, and cooking experience plus 0.2. Very nice. Now the one thing that I haven't done yet is actually setting up the cooking here. So we'll set that up real quick. Oh, let's do 25. Some veggie soup. Let's just do 25 of everything. And meat soup. We don't really do a lot of hunting at this point, so... Oh, I should do it this way. Till. Okay, perfect. And then I can destroy this one here, so we don't need that fireplace, bonfire there. And in order to make this dining hall, I needed to research that recipe board. This one. So we have enough books for that. So that will be giving us a recipe board, a wooden table, wooden stool, and some decorative item cutlery. Now the thing is, the recipe board is really big. It's kind of annoying, to be honest. So where's it at? Recipe board. Look how big this is. Look. I cannot really put it in through the wall. It doesn't look nice at all, does it? Should I really do that? I don't know what it looks like on the outside. Nah, that doesn't look nice, does it? I'm gonna do it anyways. Otherwise it takes up so much space. And this should still qualify within the room. And then we'll have an official dining hall and we can see what that brings. We have some cutlery. I will keep the stone tables. I'm actually liking them a lot more. And it's interesting because they... Looks like they got some sort of patina on them. Because they weren't that color in the beginning, were they? I think they were kind of like this color. Okay, let's see what happens here. Alright. So now we have an official dining hall. We have... Oh, let me click this way. Level 3, cozy. That means that everybody's happy, +6. And you can see here the difference. For this goes for the whole map, for all areas. We have +3 resistance. And we basically get hungry less often, less fast. And those buffs actually show up here. You have the resilience. This one is supposed to show that we're getting less hungry, but it doesn't have a mouse over. So that is really, really very nice. Alright guys, I'm going to leave it here. We have 3 dedicated rooms. We started with our cultivation, which is going to be really exciting. Next episode, we're going to explore this abode, get some books for sword fighting. Do some more fighting because we're going to get attacked more. Maybe we'll actually start tackling that dragon, get rid of that thing. Thank you for watching. Catch you guys next time. Bye bye.